Hello, YouTube! So, the three of us for Booktubeathon read Survive the Night by Danielle Vega. I have Valerie and Jen, who I will link their channels down below, to talk about our joint experience of reading this book together. First of all, the reason that we read this, because a lot of people are like, if you hated the Merciless, why did you read it? And I mean,
we thought it might be a better experience.
So we were like, okay, Danielle Vega has another book out.
Let's try this again.
Let's try it. Thinking like, okay, maybe she'll write about something else and we'll actually like.
And the concept sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean the concept of Survive the Night is that there's this kind of party up like all night. Yeah, down in like an old subway tunnel.
Yeah, a discontinued subway thing.
And then basically like people start disappearing and dying and they don't.
Everyone gets locked in
till morning or whatever, right? Or like a certain time.
Yeah.
We read the book, but we don't even remember.
5 in the morning, I think.
I definitely anticipated like a serial killer story, and that was not it.
Yeah, not serial killer.
No.
You know, in the Merciless, we all sort of ended our videos like, if you do like kind of like gratuitous torture scenes and like stuff ending in a paranormal way
when you out.
When it wasn't initially, blah blah blah. Like you might like it. I like genuinely can't think of like a single type of person that would like this book.
There are definitely reviews on Goodreads that have like 4 stars. See, I really like books that can confuse me because I have a tendency to guess the ending. But like, I wasn't confused. I was just like, you didn't even try. You did not even try to write
I was just bewildered at what I was reading.
Is a really good word.
So we all didn't like this book for a number of reasons. I think we should get into spoilers. Mostly because I'm not really worried about spoiling this book for you. You should just watch our review. Because I just, like, I never want to say, like, a book is not worth reading. But there were so many things in this book that I found to be so...
They were just not okay.
Damaging for, like, young readers.
Yeah. Which this book is geared toward.
Yeah,
so that kind of just
makes
makes me kind of sad and
fine,
like
read it. But, this isn't a spoiler. The book, like, is about a girl who just got out of rehab for... What was it?
Drug addiction.
Yeah.
It was like,
she had pain pills for surgery and then she got addicted to them.
So like, girl getting over addiction to a substance, her friend is like peer pressuring the hell out of her all night and being like, you just need to loosen up. You just need to have fun. Come on, just do it. You're so uptight. Yeah. And then later in the night, she like, okay, no, this is spoilers now. Sorry.
We're starting now.
It's happening.
Later in the night, like, she literally, like, this friend, Shanna is her name, she literally drugs her friends.
She puts I think it was an Oxycontin. No, she put,
who knows?
Acid.
Yeah, it was acid.
It was acid. She put acid in a soda and gave it to her, and then her friend was, like, hesitantly taking a sip, and she's like, just get over yourself. It's just a Coke.
Yeah.
And then later it's like, what the you drugged me.
You can't say that on my channel.
I'm sorry.
Girl who was just in rehab's friend drugs her, and then later friend. But later when she's like rightfully upset about this, the friend's like, she basically, in not so many words, was like, you were asking for it. Like she
legitimately said
She basically said you were asking to be drugged and that like you should be glad that I did it because you had fun and like screw you, friend. And then the worst part is that, like, if the author had been writing Shanna to be this, like, peer pressure-y friend who's doing all these horrible things
that was clearly wrong. It wasn't even painted in that light.
Yeah. And it's not like we're, like, goody-goody people who are like, oh, but, like, that's not... Kids these days... No, it was objectively wrong. You do not drug your friend, especially if that friend just got out of rehab. But the main character... Even when she'd be like, wow, I'm like really mad at Shanna for doing this horrible thing. But she's a good friend, and like one time when I was sad, she was there for me. So like, she just keeps making excuses for this horrible friend.
She was also there for her by getting her addicted to Oxycontin.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I was super sad, so my friend got me into drugs. But she's great, because she was there for me. Shanna was the worst. That's just sort of blanket statement over the book. The other thing that really just drove me up a wall. Almost slipped one out myself there. They're literally in a life and death situation where friends of theirs
have died.
Their friends have died.
It could be
are dead. They watched some of them die.
Yes.
And they're being chased by whatever that killed them.
But guys, her ex-boyfriend is there.
Yes.
And they might get back together.
Oh my god.
And they have a talk about it.
But he's walking really close to Shanna And, like, it
And-
sounds like maybe they might have hooked up once
And
while
like,
she was in
yeah,
rehab.
like earlier he said something about how he slept with someone while she was in rehab. And then, oh my God, Shanna and him are walking really close together. It couldn't have been them though. Shanna
What was
would
that
never.
sound? Was that the sound of one of my best friends being brutally murdered? I can't tell over the noise of my jealousy about my two friends that are. Your friends are dying.
You're going to
Shut
die.
up. There was
Deal with your relationship issues later.
equal amounts focus on death and destruction as there was on, like, teenage feelings of jealousy and hope
And
that
just
maybe
her
her boyfriend
internal
would get back together with her.
Even though they literally had a discussion, like when he was like, I had a relationship while you were in rehab, blah blah blah, and like we slept together. Just I want to be open with you, and she was like, "That's you know what? Thank you for telling me. That's fine.
That's so
I wasn't.
mature, yeah.
I wasn't.
But
with
was it
you.
Shanna?
Was it Shanna? Because if it was Shanna, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's over.
Would you like to tell the nice people at home what was killing people?
Okay, so yeah, so at first you think, oh man, could be a serial killer. Like that could have been cool, right? Being
Yeah.
trapped.
I was actually, like,
being
looking
chased
forward to, like,
by a serial
finding
killer.
Just a normal, average serial killer.
Yeah, I mean,
Just your
you know,
run-of-the-mill
a predator in
Subway
a party.
Subway serial
Like,
killer.
that could be a thing. However, turns out what it actually was a tentacle monster. It was a possessive alien. We're not quite sure. It was like a creature that would possess the person. They would like zombie walk with glowing eyes. Was a thing.
And a weird serrated knife thing in their back.
Oh, yes,
which
true.
never was brought up as to how that happened.
How is that even useful to a tentacle monster? They have, like, suction cups and, like, grip to, like...
Yeah.
Why
They'd
do you need
grab
a
you,
knife
and then like
also?
tentacle through the body.
That's all that
And then
happened. That
you
happened
were
like
torn
5
down.
times.
We never got any sort of clarification as to whether or not this was, like, one giant sort of omnipotent tentacle monster throughout all of
Or
the
if they were
subway.
Or like a
Tentacle
million.
monster.
Or if there's, like, a bunch of them. So the main girl, like, gets out with, like, the boy, and it's like,
And then
wow,
you're about to have a
you
makeout.
know, it's, like,
Oh my
really
God.
unfortunate that, like, we almost died and, like, everyone we know died, but I'm so happy that
because
we
everyone
can
dies.
finally get together and, like, make out here. And then, somehow, he's like, okay, we all, like, looked up and were like, did you understand how that happened? No, did you? No. But apparently, even though he had just crawled up out of, like, a sewer, like, thing.
Ladder, like really
Manhole.
far up.
Manhole, yeah.
Holding
With her on
the
his
girl.
Yeah. Then, mid hot, steamy makeout, all of a sudden, he had, like,
She's like, oh, is this blood?
he had, like, a completely life-threatening, gigantic gash in his back.
There's a slash like on his like
Abdomen?
spine or something like that. Cause don't his like legs stop working or some shit like that?
Something like that. I don't
There
remember.
was
I don't
blood,
know.
And then
And then, cause they're lying right next to this open manhole,
That
like
they
they
just
were just
escaped.
chased up
Like,
a ladder
a
by a
tentacle,
tentacle
like,
monster.
what does a tentacle monster do? It comes out of
and it was
and
like
it
an
grabs you.
infestation. Yeah.
God.
So
And instead
Idiots.
of just closing it or like crawling 20 feet further away, they're like, we should just lay here and make out.
Nothing turns me on more than all of my friends dying and then being chased by a tentacle monster. Okay, so
dead.
you'd think that would be the ending. Like, oh no, everyone's dead, and now this girl who just got out of
She has to
rehab
go
probably
deal
has
with
to go
some-
back to rehab.
yeah, for like a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then she ends up in hospital because, like,
A
obviously.
jogger found
super
her or
broken.
something. And
Yeah. She's, like, lying, chilling in her hospital bed, and then, like, all of a sudden, was it, like, does Shanna come in?
Oh, yeah. She walks into the room like, oh, oh, yeah, it's a visitor. Opens the curtain.
And
And like,
Girls,
oh, hi.
girls like, oh my god,
Yeah.
how is this
It's
possible?
impossible. And then,
Tentacles
monster
in
comes
the
out of her
hospital.
mouth.
Out of her mouth.
What even
Starts
happened?
attacking-
How did she see?
They were fighting for like a really long time, and she was screaming a lot. So number one, a nurse would have heard that, and she
Definitely.
got like
Especially
ripped out
that
of
late
bed.
at
So
night.
there's no way she was still connected to the heart monitor.
Nope, and she
Yeah.
had one, so that would have been going off a lot.
Yeah. And then she wrapped a cord around Shanna's neck or something and
Yes.
strangled her to death and
Yeah.
was like, oh, I feel so bad because it's Shanna, but it's not.
But then everyone comes in later and is like, oh my god, Shanna tried to kill her. It was Shanna all along.
whole time.
Shanna killed everyone. And then, apparently, we're supposed to not know
Whether
if she was, like, hallucinating
Oh, because
the
there was
tentacle
ecstasy.
monster
Yeah,
because of the ecstasy.
in her
Oh,
blood.
yeah.
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 Or if it was just Shanna all along, which doesn't make any sense. There was no motivation for Shanna to kill everybody.
I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to know that she wasn't crazy and that
Everyone else
Shanna's
just assumes
just
she
the
is.
cover story.
2 weeks have gone by, and I still am just like,
We're pretty emotional about this, though.
We still
I know.
are.
It still stings.
I didn't know that I still felt this
so
strongly
close to
about
it.
but
I'm like gripping it. Like, look at my hands on this book.
it was just all a mess.
Bummer, man.
You know what annoyed me the most is that I was excited about the idea of them being trapped at this party and then having it be this thing that they have to kind of like outsmart and escape.
Yeah.
And the party had literally nothing to do with it. They went to the party, and then I thought that like the party was like sort of like a lure to get like unsuspecting teens down there to be killed. That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how like the premise of this book was like, let's go to this crazy spooky party, and they go, and then also next to the party, like just coincidentally,
In
there's
the same subway
also a tentacle monster that's like only killing this group of friends.
No, because everybody else
Stayed at the party.
they got
Oh,
taken
yeah,
out by
they
the
got busted
police.
by the...
Oh.
That's true, that's true.
Which is so flimsy.
But
Like
still,
the tentacle monster, the tentacle monster called the police and was like, "Screw me, there's a party over here." And then the cops come and take everyone but these kids that the tentacle monster headed out
Because
for.
the kids were like on the other side of a grate or something. Like they could see people being taken by the cops. Yeah, they were like.
I never could even visualize that. I read a lot of books that like I didn't love, that I like kind of found frustrating, but usually like make it a point to still find like redeeming qualities and like things that it did well because
finished it.
yeah, and like there's still
be
like
okay with
there's
it.
always still like something you can kind of take from a book, and I just couldn't find that.
And if you're in somebody's car and they're driving 95 miles an hour, put your freaking seatbelt
Yeah,
on.
and don't shame
oh
your friends
my
for wanting to wear their seatbelt in the
Yeah.
car. I would never be friends with someone who tried to shame me for wearing a seatbelt. I'm sorry, but if you do that, you're out.
Also, drunk drive and
Oh my
play
God.
chicken with a trunk because
Yeah.
a trunk.
Oh, because she's
trunk.
like,
'Cause she was like
taking whiskey
she
shots.
was like she had like a
yeah.
flask of like Jack Daniels or something like that and was just like chugging it while she was.
So not okay. I'm sorry, but if you're writing a book for young readers, don't show a main character like drinking and driving.
Yeah,
I'm
don't be
sorry,
like-
just don't do that.
Like these are my cool friends who do ecstasy and drink a lot.
Because at no point was it ever like super made clear that the main character thought like, oh, maybe Shanna's actually a really terrible friend and I shouldn't
Yeah.
hang out with her.
I think,
or
like-
be anything like her.
Like halfway through the party, she was like, I really should have stayed with like the volleyball team or soccer or whatever she played. She was like, I should have just stayed at the sleepover.
But
And
she
that
probably
was it.
probably still had the redeeming thought of like, yeah, but Shanna was there for me.
Nice.
So that survived the night
Yep.
by Danielle Vega.
Don't do it.
Let me know if you've read Survive the Night and what your thoughts were. Also, let me know if you've ever read, not to like breed negativity, but if you ever read a book that made you feel as frustrated as we felt about this book, and why. And maybe also just to sort of round it out, tell us what your favorite book is. And this has been Survive the Night.
And never do those things if you write a book. Just don't.
Also,
Just
never
like-
do those things in real life.
If you ever write a
Don't
book,
be a Shanna.
just don't make it sound like it's okay to not wear your seatbelt or drink and drive. Just please don't do that.
Don't make
Or
it sound
drug
like it's
your
okay
friends.
to, yeah.
Or drug your friends.
That's
yeah.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I will link their channels down below because they're lovely and you should be watching them. And that's it. See you guys later. Bye.